listening to a download from the outdoorstation.co.uk.
Number 336.
Hello and welcome back to the Outdoor Station. Now, it's been a while since Andy and I had a big day out. For those of you unaware what this is, it is usually where he and I go for a walk, a backpacking trip or something similar, and we get to chew the fat, play with some outdoor toys and generally talk about outdoors stuff, which we think may be of interest to our listeners. To be honest, the download figures do indicate that many of you do indeed enjoy the banter and possibly some of the intelligent content of Two Blokes Lost in the Hills, although I very much doubt it's the latter. Well, as it is December 2011 and the season of cheer and goodwill to all men, I thought we should make a big effort and go for a wild winter camp and see if we could cook a full 3-course Christmas meal without using a single dehydrated item and record it for posterity for our ever faithful listeners. If you'd like to see images and a full breakdown of the gear and how I cooked this extravaganza, please visit the new shiny Outdoor Station website, where you can see all the details and leave comments and feedback on each podcast. We trust you enjoy this and the wide range of topics we discuss as the Welsh weather thrashes the tent and we begin to question our mental state. So here's part 1 of the ultimate big day out, Bob and Andy's Christmas Party 2011. That is the sound of a Santa hat. As it's that time of year, it is Christmas, and of course everybody likes to have a Christmas meal and do some kind of celebration during the festive season. As many listeners will know, Andy and I haven't really had many big days out this year, although we've done individual things. We haven't quite got together and got ourselves sorted. So we thought December's a fine month to organise ourselves to do something sociable and enjoyable and enjoy each other's company and catch up with the year's activities. Now, Andy, being the person that he is, didn't quite give me a date till later on in the year, and by pure coincidence, he happens to have chosen the wettest possible day that we could possibly get together in Wales. So we find ourselves now in the centre of the Crickhowell Horseshoe, just up from Llanbedr. We've parked the car on the side of the road, in between a couple of very large streams and puddles. I think one of them actually is the road. The wind is blowing, and as you can hear, the rain is pouring on the roof of the car. But we're all set and ready for some festive cheer and an evening of socialising and Christmas banter.
Yo ho ho, and a Merry Christmas to you. I have to tell listeners, it's 10 to 2 in the afternoon and it looks like 6 o'clock at night. And it's been this kind of year, hasn't it? I mean, every time we've been walking this year, Scotland, anywhere, it's just pissed down with rain. And we're in drought conditions, except when we go out on the hills and the heavens open. So what a fine way to end the year, but to end it in traditional 2011 style, with it pissing down with rain.
Yes, it is sad but true that it is exactly the same weather conditions as the last time we were probably together, which was on the TGO this year, the TGO Challenge in May, and it was continual rain there, or it certainly was for some of us anyway.
I actually remember that last walk on the TGO when we were dodging falling trees everywhere.
Yeah,
and what have we got in this lane? Trees, kind of branches. Oh dear. 60 mile an hour winds forecast.
Yeah. 69 winds forecast, sub-zero tonight, and we're going out for a Christmas party. But hey, it's the spirit of the thing.
It's the thought that counts.
It's being British. It's the stiff upper lip.
Next year will be better.
Next year we'll be in Benidorm. Right, so we've parked up now. We're going to hope that the car is still in one piece, one way or the other, by the time we get back.
Now, you do know where we're going.
You've got the map.
You've got a plan.
Have I?
You've got the plan.
I've got a plan. We're going to have a smorgasbord of an evening and share it with our faithful listeners.
I should say, Bob is rather... those of you that are regular listeners will know that Bob never compromises on style, even when he's outdoors. And Bob today is wearing a nice pair of dark blue rain trousers, a nice vivid red top, and a rather nice red Santa hat. Yes, that's obviously Walker's chic
is in.
Winter 2011.
Absolutely. Well, you can't
I
talk.
like the little bell on the top.
It's
really
good.
good.
You've got one on yours, but you haven't put your
Yeah,
hat on.
rings.
Where's your hat?
Oh, it's probably still in the boot.
Well, don't be shy now. You're wearing your red Paramo. It's going to have to go.
Is it waterproof?
No, but it's very light.
Actually, Paramo are missing a trick. They should be doing Christmas hats.
They should be, actually,
Yeah.
Right, okay, well, let's get going anyway. Enjoy our few hours walking if we're going to get much in at all. But the weather forecast is better for tomorrow morning, so we're sort of...
It's always better for tomorrow morning whenever we go anywhere.
Yeah, so...
At least you won't be fishing today.
Oh, well, that's right. Well, after the last time of you taking the Michael somewhat about my lack of fishing ability, let's see if I can improve on my cooking ability.
Well, you're promising all kinds of things. Turkey, traditional turkey meal we're going to have, washed down by a nice red, and even a proper Christmas pudding. Is that true?
Well, you will find out shortly. Let's wait and see. So let's get out of the car and risk the weather and head off into the hills.
Right, we'll stop.
With over 1 million listeners worldwide, The Outdoors Station is the leading online audio resource for those into the great outdoors.
Well, we're about half an hour on from the car now, and as you might be able to tell, it's turned slightly inclement.
Oh, nonsense. It's character forming. Racing.
Racing. Disappointed that the Met Office's forecast of snow has let us down.
Well, so far.
Yes, there is overnight. But you can certainly see the wind gusting the rain and the low-lying cloud right up the valley to where we're hoping to be camping near what I know to be the Packhorse Bridge, where the main path crosses the major stream that comes down from the head of the valley before you go up to half the horseshoe. This reminds me of the Borrowdale Original Mountain Marathon in 2008.
That was the one on which you almost all died.
That was the one where the BBC accurately reported that 1,500 people were lost on the hills and doing a marathon, and goodness knows where they were.
It's reminding me of days out as a kid, you know, when you sat in the car and I don't want to go out in that, and your dad said, nonsense, it's character forming. And then, mind you, my old man used to do things like we'd sit having a picnic spot with the overwhelming smell of cow manure wafting over us, and he'd say things like, smell that, it's a really healthy smell of the country.
Why, isn't it?
Well, I forget, you're a country lad,
I
aren't
am
you?
a country boy.
Us city boys. A bit of a shock. I did feel for that little group of Duke and Edinburgh kids we saw
Yes,
as we cruised past. They didn't look as if they were having much fun, I didn't think.
I'm shocked by that. Oh, that's better. A bit of respite.
Yes, a bit of shade. But even when the weather's dreadful like this, you know, you look around here and we've got nice old stone wall and forest to the right, and over to the left, the valley, you know, heading up to the top of that ridge, tree-lined, treeless ridge, just a bit of rock, scree, bit of heather. I mean, you know, 5 minutes out of the car and you feel as if you're in
You feel alive.
proper decent
Yeah,
outdoor country,
yeah.
don't you?
Well, as I was saying to you on the way down here, it's 30 odd years ago. This is where I first started my outdoor experience. My school had and still has an outdoor centre, which is just down the road from here, which is the reason I'm sort of familiar with it. And
So I hope we're not going to spend 2 days ticking off the firsts in your life.
especially going back to that age. I
Yes,
think
I
not.
don't know what happened in those woods. But on a warm day, there's potential down there. Even the sheep, look, even the sheep are sheltering from the wind.
Oh dear, come on, let's move on.
Come on, it's fine, Daddy Patrol.
It's at this point a nice traditional Welsh pub and a bed and breakfast in Crickhowell seems to appeal somewhat. It's been a bit hairy sticking the tenter. I've already lost 3 pegs as the wind caught the tent halfway through and it flicked it in the air. And even though I've got the high-vis material on the pegs, I can't find them. It's got a red head amongst all these autumnal leaves, so I'll have to have a hunt for that in the morning, I think. Yeah, it's a case of getting the rocks to pin down the pegs at the moment and strap ourselves in. The fun hasn't even begun yet.
Well, Merry Christmas, listeners. We've started our three-course buffet with some sloe gin, some award-winning sloe gin, and a mince pie.
Has to be said, the sloe gin is
Cheers.
excellent. Thank you, Rose, for that. Of course, this is a male bonding session, and there are times when, you know, love our women as we do.
Absolutely.
There are times
when we can do without them.
yes.
Oh, I think I meant to say.
So long as they made the gin first.
Yes, I think I meant to say we can manage without them. Sorry, that didn't come out right.
Yeah.
Right, now, I've got the first pot of water boiling, and it's jumped ahead of me here, so I'm going to have to just knock that off for a second, I think. Because our first course is going to be... Oops, wrong way. Turn that down. There you go. Our first course is going to be tomato soup with chopped parsley, just as soon as I can find it.
The only problem with having a 3-course meal, dehydrated meal, under the tent in the darkness, in the middle of nowhere, is of course it involves lots and lots of Tupperware boxes, from what I can see.
It's not dehydrated, that's the whole point. That's the reason it involves Tupperware boxes.
Ah.
It's all real meal. You've got real Christmas pudding here, real soup. You've even got real turkey to cook, which should be interesting.
Oh dear.
Don't be like that now. So I'm just putting in the finishing touches now to the first course, which is tomato and basil soup with fresh herbs, parsley, chopped herbs from the garden.
Yes, I think I should point out
orange set.
this is a bit like, you know, MasterChef, the professionals, MasterChef, the wilderness experience.
The wilderness,
we
yes.
have, we both have a brightly coloured mug with lovely bit of tomato soup with finely chopped parsley sprinkled
Absolutely.
on. I mean, you know, it's pretty good standard here.
And then what I've done is I've put a little homemade trivet in the bottom of the pot that I've taken the hot water out of and dropped in 2 mini Christmas puddings in there.
Yes, that's advanced outdoor cooking, I think.
Yeah.
It's very nice though, Bob.
Where is the soup? Good, isn't it?
Parsley's very nice, fresh parsley.
This is one of these Heinz pastes almost. It comes in a tube. And it's much nicer, much
Not
fresher
bad,
than,
actually, is it? Yeah.
fresher than the packet stuff.
Actually, to be fair, it tastes like, you know, that tomato and basil soup you get in restaurants that clearly have ordered the Break Brothers menu number 3.
Right, yeah.
It tastes very much like that.
Well, it doesn't.
In fact, those people who are doing the TGO challenge for the first time next year will probably taste this very soup on a couple of occasions as they go across.
Well, it's good. I mean,
It's all right.
It's all in all the supermarkets now, so I thought I'd give it a try. But I thought it was a nice starter. So we're going to go pot cosy mad on this particular cooking session. Once we've sort of had this this soup, the Christmas pudding should have heated through, and that's going to go in the pot cosy until the end of the meal, where it will be joined by some fresh brandy butter, which was made last night. And then I shall start on the main course, which is turkey, potato, calabrese, sprouts and carrots with gravy, cranberry sauce and stuffing.
Wow. There you go. I should say we're sitting in the middle of one of Bob's tarps. I guess we'll talk about that later. And we have, hanging from various peg-out points, glow sticks, which, you know, gives the impression of a party theme. We've both got our Santa hats on still.
That reminds me.
And, yeah, it's good.
You know what's missing, don't you?
Christmas carols?
Absolutely.
No. Oh, dear.
Absolutely, no. Somewhere in this pile of bits. Right, found it. Right, now, Andy mentioned Christmas carols, and I thought he's absolutely right. It's the one thing that I know he'll regret not having. And I mentioned this to Kate, and she said he would be thrilled by this idea. So, the other day, while I was in that well-known international shopping centre, Lidl,
Don't knock Lidl. It's excellent.
I came across this delightful little gadget, which simply put is a speaker to plug into your iPod. And I've got a dinky iPod, and I just, as soon as I used it, I knew it was perfect for Andy in this situation.
Oh, no. You see, it's a shame this isn't visual, really, because not only is this playing a Christmas tune, Merry, Merry Christmas. But it's got like little disco lights built into it that are...
Isn't that terrific?
Yes, it adds to the party atmosphere. So here we are, in our top, in the middle of... so it's been in the middle of the night, middle of the afternoon, really, completely
Yes.
dark, with our glow sticks all around, a disco lights, and Bing. Oh wow! And when we say Bing, we don't mean youngsters. We don't mean the maps or the search engine.
Yeah. Oh, it was bada bing, bada boom. Bada boom. Oh, I thought you'd enjoy that. So let us now. The Christmas pudding is cozying. I think we could crash open a nice bottle of Merlot, like what I have here. Do you happen to have your mug handy?
I do, of course. There's a marked absence of Torrid and Stone in there, but never mind.
There you go. Well,
I can just hope the slow gin doesn't spoil the vintage. Mind you, wine in a titanium cup is always an interesting experience.
oh, it's quality. You see, I'd go as far to call it a Humphrey moment.
Yes, those of you that know Humphrey will know what we mean. He's a man who compromises little on culinary standards while trekking through the bogs of Scotland or the mountains of the Pyrenees. Whee!
And we've just lost the corner of the tent.
Oh, right.
So we'll just stop here for a second.
In the snow, bobbity, bobbity, bobbity.
So would you like to describe to listeners what we're doing, Andy?
Yes, I'm sure this is what all of you have done when you go camping. First of all, we have two stoves, and on the first stove, we have some potatoes boiling away. New potatoes grown by Rose's fair hands from the garden, and those are boiling away. And then at a certain point, they will get rushed into a pot cosy, where we hope that the heat will continue to cook and keep them warm.
Hope?
And in another pot, we have one of these nifty little pots with two dividers, a divider in it.
No, I just made
And
it out of, it's just windshield.
Is it windshield?
It's
Oh,
just
you're
windshield.
so ingenious. You
Just,
know. I mean, you would make somebody a lovely wife. And in there, there's swede and carrot and bits and pieces.
Calabrese.
And yes,
Sprouts.
Bob is currently cutting up sprouts and bits of broccoli, which he, of course, correctly identifies as calabrese or calabrese. And broccoli is something different, but we'll leave that out for a moment. It's days like this, you know, Bob lives in a rural area, so he can correctly identify these things. Anyway, so that's what now into the pot with the divider goes some water, and that will now go on the second burner, and we'll then rush into the second pot cosy. I should also point, there's a third pot cosy, as you heard later, which is already in operation, steaming the Christmas puddings. So this is a 3 pot cosy expedition. And then while everything is warming through in the pot cosy,
Continuing to cook, I think.
Continuing
actually,
to cook.
is
Continuing to cook.
Because we need it to cook another 5 minutes or so.
we have some very thinly sliced turkey, which Bob is going to fry in yet another pot.
Yeah, in a titanium frying pan. A titanium frying pan there with some stuffing.
I should say this was a good idea. It's maybe quite easy, as easy as you'd like to get the organisation right with a gale blowing outside and whatever.
Yes, it does. One does question one's sanity when everything is held down by very large
However,
bricks.
I have to say the mince pie, the sloe gin, the Merlot wine and the tomato soup have been good so far. So,
I'm scoring reasonable points, am I?
oh, I think so. And, you know, in terms of the year of austerity, and it's obviously a better, more cost-effective, efficient option than going to the pub down the road, probably.
Yeah, but the pub down the road seems, at this particular moment, seems like a bit more of a sensible option.
No.
No, it's all coming together. It's all working. Providing we lost the corner of the tent, the tarp a second ago, and providing that doesn't happen again, like now.
All hands to the deck.
Yes. Hold corners and down things. Then
We're
everything
fine.
should be okay. But if it happens again when the burners are going, it could be a
It
different
has
story.
to be said, we have found a good use for a dry stone wall,
Yes. Which we'll replace
which is
tomorrow.
holding down the tents. Yes, and for those of you at home, if you utilise a dry stone wall in such a way, you should always put the stones back. Of course, in the exact order you found them.
Right. Got it. Potatoes simmering.
I should say that Bob has got some rather nifty little accessories here. These little stands that you put on the bottom of gas canisters, like little low tripod stands that give the whole thing much more stability and stick into soft soil.
You need-
They're there, and those are good. You need those, certainly.
Oh, what was I going to say to you actually? It was I said earlier on. I thought it would be well. Yes, what is worth mentioning is that when we're putting this into a pot cosy, I've discovered. Well, it makes common sense really. I haven't just sort of discovered it uniquely, but that a double pot cosy is much more efficient than a single one, as you would naturally expect it to be. So we have the cosy shape. Well, I'm going to do a video on this, so don't worry if you're worried about how it goes together. The cosy shape is basically you have the base of the cosy which comes up the side of the pan, and then you have the lid which covers the lid and then goes down the side as well. But the efficiency, the heat retention efficiency, is phenomenal for a double layer, and we used it extensively in the trips this year, and it's been a remarkable way of saving fuel. And the reason I'm hesitating is I'm holding on to things which are moving. So yeah, a useful cooking accessory, certainly on longer trips. But in this particular case, I was trying to work out how we could do it with just 2 burners. So we're giving it our best shot. Right, we'll come back a bit later when I get the veg sorted.
You're listening to theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
That there is the sound of sizzling turkey. We now have 3 pot cosies on the go. Just to recap for you, those of you that haven't been following properly, there are 2 Christmas puddings in pot cosy 1, new potatoes in pot cosy 2, and sprouts and broccoli and swede and carrots in pot cosy 3. This is slightly tricky exercise, as the chef has to cook these turkey slices perfectly in a titanium pan, which is not the most effective of cooking vessels, but there you go.
Oh, it's effective. It's just I'm also trying to cook stuffing in it as well. Turn that down a bit. Yes, titanium's transfers the heat directly straight through the material. Hold the
I made it. Really, we should be listening to Gladys Knight help me make it for the night, really, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Titanium transfers the heat directly through to the opposite side where the heat is applied. So on something like a frying pan where you want the heat to spread a bit, it can be a little bit tricky. And I'm using a Crux stove, which is a belter of a stove, but it's not designed for sort of subtle simmering and the like. And I've got my stuffing in here as well, as they say. In fact, I'm going to quickly take a photograph of this, as people won't believe me.
No, they won't. They'll probably laugh a lot when they see the photograph.
They'll be jealous.
So, of course, I mean, it's a difficult time of the year to go wild camping because, of course, it's dark so early and late, late. But on the other hand, we like this, don't we? Because we know we're going to get a good night's sleep.
Well, that's weather like tonight aside, generally I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I think tonight I should be waking up if there's a sudden gust to hold on to the pole. Right, let's turn that over. Don't want food poisoning. That would be a terrible ending to the podcast, wouldn't it? Well, the stuffing starts off in nice little pancakes, but it's not going to work. I don't think the pan's not big enough.
I don't think we need to worry about that. I mean, a bit of rustic touch is probably suitable for rural conditions like this. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, what is quite spooky is the moment you pick up your titanium cup of wine, the wind gets up, as if to say, oh no you don't.
I think we also must advise people, particularly new people, should we say, to backpacking, if anybody's listening from that level, that cooking inside a tent isn't a advisable pastime. But this is a...
Don't do this at home, folks.
This is a tarp tent, very much like a pyramid tent, and there's a lot of space in it, and we've actually got the entire contents of the centre of the tent, as it were, completely open. So, and there's a good height above the gas cookers, and reasonable ventilation at the top. So that side of it's good. The poor side is the fact that because the sides of the construction are fairly large, it is catching the wind.
I think as a general rule, if you're looking to camp inside a tent, best get an adult to do it for you.
Camp inside the tent?
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm just waiting for that bit of turkey to cook, and it's almost there, I think. How do you like your turkey? Do you like your turkey browned? Well, I like it cooked, I suppose.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, cooked is the first instance. I have visions of going into the local hospital in Abergavenny. And
you've got a man of little faith.
What have you been eating, as they always say when you have food poisoning? Well, actually, we
were in a tent in the middle of nowhere. But we were just reflecting on the year, really, how it's been very hard, we found it, to actually get out and about and do as much as we would like. Like everybody else, we're concentrating on keeping the wheels of industry going round and keeping ourselves fed.
It's a difficult year, I think, and what would be quite interesting is I know certainly from my blog, and people are being much cautious about spending in all kinds of ways. Of course they are, and probably having to be much more ingenious about how they actually get out and spend their time. So it'd be interesting to hear from people how they are tackling the great outdoors on a budget, really.
You were saying several people were asking you about the TGO challenge, how affordable they could make it.
Yeah, well, a few people who got on for the first time this year have been telling me that, you know, it's probably a once in a lifetime thing. They want to cram in as much as they can, but you know, they've all thought very hard about whether they should do it or not because of the costs. And of course, something like the TGO challenge is like anything else, really. It can be as expensive as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Of course, you can keep the cost down. There's quite an interesting debate to be had, really, around things like food drops and sustainability. And I think, in general, it's nice to support local businesses, and particularly in the rural areas, it's nice to put something back. And so when you're out for the day in the lakes or the dales or something, you know, buy some sandwiches locally if you can, and help make that walking investment work for people. But of course, trying to do something like a 2-week trek across Scotland on a budget does mean you're probably going to end up preparing a lot more food yourself, and maybe dehydrating it, posting it on ahead, and it's, you know, I think it's unavoidable, really.
One shocking piece of news you were saying today was that the fish and chip shop in Braemar, the Hungry Highlander, is in fact closed.
No, this is serious news. Anybody who's been to Braemar, I mean, let's face it, TGO challengers tend to think of Braemar as a great metropolis, simply because we've been walking for 10 days through the middle of nowhere to get there, so it seems so. But of course, to everybody else, it's like the back and beyond. And the chip shop there, which has to be said, is one of the very best chip shops you'll ever come across, has closed. Yeah, the lease is up, and I think the landlords have wanted to double the lease, and the owners have said in the current climate they can't do it. So we shall wait and see what happens. If the chip shop is closed in May,
well, I'm sure the
other
other places will benefit, but it's a shame to see such a mecca, a place that was we all looked forward to, didn't we? Come the last day, coming down or going through the Larry Garoo, to know you're going to have a big, huge, great, mammoth, giant fish and chips was.
Well, I think when you get an economic downturn, you know, the first thing people think about is that, well, you know, people are going to take their holidays at home this year, but actually, as it gets more severe, I think people are going to be looking really very seriously to count the costs. I mean, my TGO challenge next year will be camping every night. My bit of luxury will be the odd campsite and shower. It's not going to be spending a great deal of money in B&Bs, I'm afraid.
Well, I think Rose and I did the sums last year for our trip, and we estimated that just approximately it came to just over £500. But that was also including the train trip up there, which itself can be a bit of a shock sometimes. You know, occasional B&B, and then all the to-ing and fro-ing. It's with the trains, it's definitely a case of you have to time your purchase of the ticket just to absolutely the right moment.
You can get these cheap sleeper tickets as well, and cheap train tickets. I must admit, I've never been able to find the damn thing.
Anyway, we're cooked on the turkey front, which is a relief, and I'm going to lay the plates up, hopefully, get the gravy done, and we'll be back to celebrate our meal just as soon as it's plated up.
I have to say, it's very exciting, this part.
Well, you're not doing anything, that's why.
No, I mean, exactly. But, you know, if I just adopt my MasterChef persona for a moment, I mean, what we've got there is we've got, appearance-wise, we've got the really nice turkey with just a nice brown cinch to it, nicely looking stuffing there. Looks a dainty little dish, as they say.
Oh, a dainty little dish. Right, well, I'm just going to whisk up the gravy, and we'll be back.
One of the interesting little things we have is Bob has sourced some rather little dinky little cooking items. One of them which includes a kind of mini lightweight whisk. Now, we do know trekkers of high culinary standards like Humphrey, who swear by his little culinary set, but I have to say, if ever you're caught short in the countryside and you need to whisk up some gravy quickly, they're just the thing, aren't they?
Well, it's surprising just how often you do need to finally whisk something, whether it's soup or gravy or custard or whatever. And these mini whisks, I mean, you can pick them up in places like Lakeland and so on, are just small enough to go inside most small pots.
I find if you've got your titanium pot and you've got your casserole or you've got your soup in it, a little bit of torrid and grit in there really kind of loosens things up quite nicely.
Oh, well, I'll leave you to enjoy your torrid and grit. I'm not a grit man myself. Right, I'm just dishing up the taters at the moment.
Well, they look nice. They're nice and glistening. Lovely presentation there.
I'm still hot as well. It's the main thing.
Yeah.
Just can't see my... Share them up between us.
Yeah, all for you, all for me.
Something like that. A little bit watery there. Let's get rid of the water. I can't get rid of water like that.
These are quite ingenious little plates you've got here.
Yeah, these are the X plates.
Yeah.
X plates and the X mugs. Right, now the trick will be the veg. Just how to get the veg out. So I think I might just spoon it out, might be the easiest thing.
The carrots and the swede. Ooh, lovely, lovely. I should say that it's a rather strange experience sitting in a tent in the middle of the countryside, pitch darkness with the smell of sprouts pervading the air. I'd high hopes that actually sprouts will be transformed by the open air eating experience.
Oh, I love sprouts. I think sprouts are a fantastic
Oh,
vegetable.
I do, yeah.
You're just saying that now.
No,
Get your Calabrese.
But I like them kind of, kind of slightly blanched and then sautéed with a bit of bacon or something like that. Very nice.
Right, some Calabrese. Now for the infamous sprouts. Oh, beautifully done. I tell you what, this Pot Cozy stuff, look into it. It's really worth it.
Of course, on a camping trip or a backpack or a trek, the real point about the Pot Cozy, it saves you a hell of a lot of fuel.
Well, and also, I think one of the charms about it is the fact it works with any stove.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be a meths person or a gas person or whatever to use it. For a £5-6 investment, you've got something that will actually probably save you 20 or 30 quid on every trip. Doesn't that look good?
That does look very good, Bob.
Actually, it's remarkable how much food's there.
Remarkably good.
Let's just get the rest of
Yes,
the
I
carrot
think you've surpassed yourself here.
I think I have. Let's just hope it's edible. That makes it even better. So, now for the... I'll give you the larger of the steaks.
No, after you.
No. Steak there. Steak here.
Oh, I say, my word.
Right.
I think we're going to have to have a photograph of this because
Definitely. Nobody will believe you.
nobody will believe us.
Sort of
Of course, they'll all want to go camping with you now.
only at Christmas. Oop, hold on to the tent. Be all right, mate. Just coming through. Right. So that's the bread sauce, the turkey, and now what's missing is the gravy, which is all whisked up and done. All over for you?
Oh, yes, I think so. Oh, look at that. It's just a nice thickness there. Good marks of presentation.
And finally, of course,
Could serve that in any motorway service station or
Finally,
cab.
of course, it wouldn't be the same without cranberry sauce. So let's just dish that up. Are you a serious cranberry sauce man or a slightly like?
I'm a cranberry sauce man. I don't
Oh, okay.
really appreciate the difference between serious or not, but there you go.
There you go. There's a good dollop of cranberry sauce there. And there, another dollop there.
You see, the great thing about this dish, I mean, I know we've got lots of overseas listeners, but of course you could equally do this for Thanksgiving, couldn't you?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I mean, I don't know where you'd be tracking at this time of the year in the States,
Right, just a glass of wine.
but oh, that looks absolutely pretty as a picture, Bob.
All right, some pictures to prove that it's done. For now. Oh, we have a little cracker.
We do.
Where's the other one gone? Oh,
Oh.
you're sitting on
I'm
it.
sitting on it now. I mean, that is
Pull my
one of the
cracker.
problems of. Oi!
Oh, you win the hat.
Oh, do I get a hat? What do you get then?
Oh, I don't know. You haven't pulled my cracker yet.
Do we not both get a hat?
Ah, I got one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, party hats.
We get the poor joke as well. Oh, we've got a poor joke as well, and a freebie. Oh, actually, that's useful. I've got a magnifying glass. Why can't you play jokes on snakes?
I don't know, sir. Why can't you play jokes on snakes?
Because you can't pull their legs. Boom, boom.
I can't read that one. I've got my spec.
What goes woof woof tick?
I don't know, sir. What goes woof woof tick?
A watchdog.
Oh!
Boom, boom. Right, let's eat, my friend. Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
God,
Where's my
yeah.
knife and fork? Where's my knife and fork? Top of a vino.
Oh, I should think
think
so, yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh,
Oh, well, at least we managed to get the... thank
drink
you.
the wine or hold the tent. Oh, you.
Oh. Well, at least we managed to get the cooking done.
Where's mine?
Yes, without...
I love this random use of the term we.
well, of course, you know, somebody has to be here to offer moral encouragement and...
A safety monitor for the tent.
Yes.
Right, let's tuck in then. That's going to be getting cold. There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. Looks spectacularly good. Right, I'm going to have to go straight for sprout, I think. Which is cooked to perfection. Just a little crunch there. Nice. Yes. Gravy's nice. Yeah. Quite nice and savoury. Just a little touch of cranberry sauce coming through on the edge. Very nice.
Well, my concern is that everything is... Yep. Cooked beautifully.
New potatoes nice. Just a bit of firmness there, but rather pleasant. Lovely taste of those potatoes. They're very gorgeous.
I'm quite surprised with myself, actually.
I think you've done very well, Bob. I did think you were bar gravy mad when you suggested this.
Anyway, forgiveness to the listeners, we're going to switch off while we enjoy our Christmas lunch. Merry Christmas to you.
Yes.
Well, so far, so good. The starter and main course have been consumed with relish, and thankfully the tent is still in one piece. Mind you, it did help having half a wall pinning it to the ground. Please check out our new website, theoutdoorstation.co.uk, and have a read through many of the articles and content I've been adding recently. Hopefully people will enjoy contributing to it with feedback and links. The desire is to make the website a fully interactive, entertaining outdoors information centre with our podcasts and videos, along with others I find along the way, with a bias towards self-powered travel. Please stay tuned for part 2 of our epic big day out to see if we actually make it through the Christmas pudding, the whiskey, the chocolate, and survive the wet, wild, stormy night. That only leaves me to wish all our listeners around the world a very healthy, happy, and safe Christmas break. Bye for now.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by choir and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on a sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase messages from 1 to 92. So it's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To hear more from our extensive free library, please visit the website at theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
You can now follow The Outdoor Station on Facebook, where we chat about each program we produce, answer questions, and discuss future productions. Why not join us there?
This podcast is produced and hosted by theoutdoorstation.co.uk.